I say this with so much love. God will always provide for you when you allow God to. When you really tap in to the embodiment of God that you truly are within and allow God to speak and work through you, God will always provide. I personally believe working is meant to be fun. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe people should be slaving themselves in order to make money. Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about my recent experience with going to apply to a job. Now, this job posting I saw like 2 weeks ago, and then it popped back up on Sunday. So, Sunday night, I said to God, God, if I am meant to go and apply for this job, please send me a sign. Amen. I went to sleep, had a dream that had nothing to do with me working a job. Actually, in the dream, it was just a bunch of men fondling over me. So I have no clue what that means, but nothing about a job. Anyway, Monday morning came and I still woke up, got dressed, and I went to apply to the job. Just because the job was only 2 days a week, Sunday and Monday was like a full day. But I was like, this is totally manageable for me, and I really need an income to start flowing in my way. I'm behind on some bills. I am really not trying to let it get to me, but you know, it is what it is. Honestly, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, because honestly, when I get my abundance, I'm just gonna pay off all my debt and be like, fuck y'all, I'm fucking done. Bye. But anyway, I still went to go to apply to this job. So when I walk in, I speak to the lady and I'm like, yeah, I was talking to you on Nextdoor, which is where I originally saw the job posting. And so she gives me the application. I start filling the application out, and the lady and her husband live in an apartment next door, literally connected to the storage unit. And the lady's dog, like, her cousin fed the dog something, and the dog was like not well, was throwing up and choking and stuff like that. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry for your dog, like, I hope it gets better. So they're trying to handle that, and they leave me to just finish filling out my application. The lady would go to the apartment, and then the husband would come out, make small talk with me. It was really funny. Okay, so the husband would come out and make small talk with me, and it was really funny. Filling out the application, and then the lady comes back, and I'm just exhausted even talking about this experience. I don't want to fucking work, bro. I do not want to work. And when I tell people that statement, they get so offended, as if I'm saying, oh, I'm too good to work. I'm too good to work. Like, I think I'm better than people who have to work. That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is I have no type of desire to work a 9 to 5 job. I have no type of desire to work anyone that does not appreciate me as a human first and an employee second. And like, because his job was only 2 days a week, I was like, okay, it's totally manageable. Like, Malaya, you can do this. You can do it, girl. And the pay was $15 an hour, so I was like, you know, that's great with me. Most jobs, they be underpaying the fuck out of people. So I went and I applied, and I was filling out the background check, and the lady was like, oh, I need your social security card. And I was like, I don't have that. Like, I was not aware I would need that. And she's like, how far do you live? You can go get it. And I was like, well, I only live 11 minutes, so I could go get it. But the fact that in my head, the fact I even had to go back to my house to look for my social security card, and then bring it back, I was just like, ugh, that already is doing too much for me, because I'm in such a state that what is meant for me will easily be meant for me. I won't have to jump through all these loops and hoops and all this kind of stuff. Like, what is meant for me will organically come together and be. But I was like, I'm only 11 minutes, so it's okay. But my car was actually on zero miles, so I drove back home to get my social security card, and I typically keep it in this box where I keep important documents. I open the box and it's nowhere to be found. I have no fucking idea where my social security card is, but it's missing. It's missing now. But luckily, inside that box, I find a piece of paper that had a copy of my driver's license and social security on there. So I'm like, okay, this will have to suffice, because if it doesn't, then like, fuck this job. So I head back to the place, and on the way there, I literally get lost. And I'm like, how the fuck am I getting lost? Like, I was literally just here, and I realized the area, but no, I got fucking lost. So I open the GPS, and I put in the address that pops up first. And I'm like, okay, give me back. And so I follow that, and the GPS takes me to this hospital that's in the area, but I'm like, what the fuck? Why would it bring me to the hospital? Like, this is not the address I was just at. So that was already like, what? And then my car is on E. I'm driving around trying to find this place, and I'm just like, what is going on? And because there were so many things that were just happening, it was starting to exhaust me. I was like, this is like too much. This is doing the most. And a lot of people may not feel that way, but to me, I was just so over it. Because also, my car's on E, 0 miles, and I'm like, whatever. So I finally find the address again, and I go to the place. When I get back to the place, I start filling out my background check, and all that kind of stuff. And she's actually able to take the paper with my social security and run it. So me and the lady are just making small talk, and at this point in my head, I'm filling this shit out, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm just ready to go home. Like, I do not want to be here. I do not want to work here. And I'm gonna be real, I felt like the lady, she was very nice to me, but I was thinking she was like, I don't know if she's gonna be a good fit. She kept saying like, oh, you have to do this, this, and that. Are you able to handle that? It was like the simplest things, and I'm like, yeah, I can totally do that. And I think she was just profiling me based on how I came dressed. I literally just had a dress on. And she was like, yeah, you know, sometimes you may have to get dirty. You have to go clean out vans. She was saying all I have to do is sweep out the van. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely handle that. But I just felt like she was giving me this vibe like, I don't know. But anyway, I finished that. And she's like telling me, okay, it's gonna take a day for this background check to come and run. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Even just telling this story, I'm so fucking exhausted because I'm just so over fucking working, bro. I'm so over having to work. And like, a lot of people do not understand this because they're so conditioned to be like, okay, you have to work. Some people have been working since they were like 15, 16. Some people even 14. And like, when I was a kid, I had a dog walking business. I was walking like 2-3 dogs down my street. And I love that. I love having the freedom of work. I love doing work that I actually enjoy and that fulfills me and brings me joy. And I'm getting paid, making money. Like, those are the kind of jobs I like. The last job I had was at a hookah bar. And honestly, I feel like God guided me to that job because I was desperate for money. And when I went to apply that job and I had my interview, like, the place hadn't even opened. So the 2 weeks that I worked there, was like 2 or 3 weeks I worked there, like, we weren't doing shit. We were in training, and there was no type of training. And like, when I got my paycheck, it was like $700 and something, and I was just like, wow, you know, this is great, because I went and I paid some of my bills immediately. It was just nice to have that relief of not having, that relief and ease of knowing, okay, your bills are paid right now. And I was just thanking God, like, thank you for allowing me to make it through. I literally quit that job after 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks because they were asking for so fucking much and they did not care about employees. Like, the hours were fucking crazy. It was like from 4 to 12 and then from 4 to 2, bro. And oh my gosh. And then I had to wear a uniform. I had to wear a uniform, which I didn't like. I don't like jobs that make me wear uniforms because I am such a fashionista. I am such a fashionable person. I just don't like jobs that try to, like, restrict me in any type of way, whether that's the way I dress, the way I do my hair, the amount of rest I'm able to get. I just don't like jobs that are so restricting, because I personally believe working is meant to be fun. Contrary to popular belief, I don't believe people should be slaving themselves in order to make money. I also worked at a liquor store like 2 years ago, and that job taught me so fucking much, because the conversations I had with people would literally be getting off from work and immediately going into the liquor store to get drunk and go home. To go home and get drunk. Like, and it would be a religious practice. I would see some people every day. I would see some people every 3 days, every 2 days, once a week. Like, people are looking for an escape from their reality and the jobs that they're working, and that's just really sad. And there are so many men who were literally the sole provider and only provider for their families, so they were literally working so much, like 12, 14-hour shifts, and that's just like, what? That's ludicrous. So I'm just so overworking. I know that God has something bigger in store for me, and I'm really just trying to continue to tap into that. I know that also getting fit and becoming my best self physically is very important to my journey, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and spiritually is so important to elevating me to who I am truly meant to be, because we live in a world where there's so many different currencies, to be honest. There's so many different currencies that can help you get ahead. Like, especially for humans now, like, your look is a currency. The way you look, the way you present yourself, that's currency. If you're just pretty, if you're just handsome, there's so many people willing to just, like, take care of you. And then you have the whole influencer thing. There's so many possibilities. We live in a very privileged time, and it is really time for me to step up to that plate. Also, I feel like I have so much to voice and share with the world that I am just trying to get myself together and become more confident in myself and spreading the messages that I believe God is wanting me to spread. So, honestly, I just have no desire to work. I've had no desire to work for a very long time. And it's like, I tell people, oh, I want to do YouTube, and they're like, that's still work. But really, to me, it's not work. I'm doing it from the comfort of my own bedroom. I'm doing it when and where and how I want to do it. And, you know, you can literally make so much money doing this. The internet money, like, people are making amazing amounts of money through the internet nowadays. 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 plus a month just from sharing content on the internet. And I'm just really trying to tap into that, because I do not like being broke. Broke is a temporary situation, and I'm just so over it. I am so fucking over it. I am ready to elevate myself in every fucking way. Literally, tomorrow, I'm about to go back on a fast. I have hella water. I'm about to go back on a fast. I have a watermelon. I'm going to finish that up tomorrow or today. Tomorrow and the next day probably. I'm going to go back on a water fast because I need to cleanse myself. I am literally going to be fasting from food, men, and worries. I don't want to have to worry about anything. I am in such a state of receiving. That's all I care about. I'm meant to receive so much in this lifetime. I'm meant to be so much in this lifetime, and I'm just ready to start shining my light all over the fucking world. So I'm opening myself up to receive more and express more and just authentically be who I am and inspire others to authentically be who they are and to elevate. Elevation is the key to life. The moment you stop wanting to elevate yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, that's the moment you lose at the fucking game of life. You're not meant to be complacent. You're not meant to be content. You should always be striving to be better. I saw this girl say, what did she say? She said something about like, about her peak. She said, I don't even know what my peak is because I'm constantly elevating myself. And that's how I want to be. My whole life, I just want to continue to elevate. I want to get more beautiful. I want to get more confident in myself. I want to be able to walk into the room and just speak to whoever the fuck I want. I am an ambivert, but I'm very introverted leaning. So I'm an observer. When I get into big crowds, I am observing and so aware of everything that's going on. I see everything that most people miss, and I love that about me. That is a beautiful skill, and that's like one of my superpowers, I believe. But yeah, bitch, I'm just fucking tired of working. I'm fucking tired of not being at ease when it comes to money. And honestly, I've let go of even caring about the debt I have because I know I'm going to be debt free by the end of this year. I have some kind of plan that is going to allow me to be debt free by the end of this year. And that's all I care about. I'm not worried about my bills right now. I'm not worrying about how I'm going to pay them. I'm just allowing God to take care of me in the way that God sees best for me. So, I say this with so much love. God will always provide for you when you allow God to. When you really tap in to the embodiment of God that you truly are within and allow God to speak and work through you, God will always provide. Now, I should have been making more YouTube videos like back to back to back consistently, but I fell off, and that is my own fault. Like, I'm a very lazy person. I'm a procrastinator. What else? Yeah, those are two traits that I'm really trying to work on and elevate because they just hold me back. And essentially, because I have those skills that hold me back, I am holding myself back. And I'm really just tired of holding myself back. I'm so tired of holding myself back. You guys have no idea. You have no fucking idea. But yes, that was my experience going to apply to a job, and guess what? They didn't even call me back. They did not even fucking call me back. So honestly, that job was definitely not meant for me. And I'm just so over it. I'm just so fucking over it. And I want to commit to my YouTube. Because there's this lady who came across my feed. Her name is like Dodash. And she's been so inspiring. I've been seeing her monetization journey, and I'm just like, hell yeah, bro. Let me make $600 in a day. Let me make $1,000 in a day just from sharing content on the internet, just from sharing my story, being authentically me, inspiring others. That is a beautiful job to have. When you think about it, when I think about it, that is the most beautiful job to have, and that's the type of job I was meant to have in this world. I was not put on this world to be a slave to the corporate world, to the capitalist world. No, I am here to be financially free, abundant, and just free in every way. Freedom is so important to me. Freedom and authenticity are two of the most important things to me. And I am just ready to shine my light all over the fucking internet. So yes, thank you for watching. This was like really exhausting to even try to create. Guys. I'm just sending you all so much love and light and so many blessings. And remember, don't let people try to shame you or make you feel bad because you don't have the desire to work. And they think that working a typical 9-to-5 job is what we were put on this earth to do. No, maybe that's what they were here to do. But if you have a higher consciousness and a higher vision for yourself, follow that fucking vision, because that is the voice of God and that's the vision of God that has been implanted in you. And don't settle for anything less. Believe me. Blessings.